hopping from the Old West to Horseshoe Bay, this was also a Groundhog-esque episode. And it really, really worked.
I love this episode. I was like super confused in the beginning though,
Right,
because
yeah.
I thought we were gonna get hit with like a one day earlier after the Nick intro. And I even paused it and I was like, why do I not know what Nick is up to? Did I miss an episode? Did I forget how the previous episode ended? I was so confused. But then I kept going with it. And by the middle of the episode, I was like, oh yeah, this device that they used where they threw us into this and like confused us, or at least myself. I was confused. I won't speak for you guys. But I think it actually really worked by the end. And they just had they're having so much fun with season 2, which is nice.
Yeah, very much so. And I love how it played into the whole plot. We'll get into it, I'm sure we will. But like the fact that the memory erasing device Nancy ended up using on Celia as well, which it created some wonderful, like heartwarming, but also comedic moments. Yeah, this episode made me feel like every emotion under the sun in like 40 minutes. But for being an episode that was kind of terrifying, it was also very, very funny. Like, loved it. Honestly, loved it.
And there were so many story developments. I feel like I could list them. It was like Nancy makes a deal with Celia, and then George and Nick end up moving into Carson's loft. Carson moves back in with Nancy. Just like so much happened, and it didn't ever feel overstuffed because we spent the bulk of the episode in this cycle of like, I loved when every time their memories were erased, they would go back in and they'd watch the videos, and Nancy was like, slinging the steak knives did not work. And Ace's thigh.
And then the board too, where they picture yourself, important facts about yourself. That worked so well in conveying how long they've been doing this and how long it's not been working. But it also gave us like these cute little comedic beats, especially with the Patankers, when we were about to rehash the whole conversation that we had in I think that's the pilot. But and that's just like, oh, into girls, and he's like, oh, it's like, sorry.
We also met, not to completely move past the actual plot episode, but we met Ace's mom, right? For the first time.
Yes. Rebecca, I believe her name is. Yeah.
Queen, loved her.
She was really great. I love how like she even has that moment where she's not on screen, where she's yelling about how she refuses to eat the chicken by herself. She will starve until her husband comes to join her.
She called him AC.
Yes, I noticed that as well. We did suggest that she might be coming into it because didn't Ace rang her or was on the phone to her at one point, and I don't think he'd ever talked about his mom before that in season 1. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was very much a case of, does Ace only have his dad in his home? But so it was nice that they finally, like, we didn't see them, all three of them at the same time, but we did get to see like the fact that his mom was sitting there as though she's always been sitting there, and they just had a conversation. There was no like big introduction made about it, and I think that's a good thing. But yeah, it was nice to learn more about his family and get the reveals. But also, I've said it before, just his relationship with his dad is so heartwarming, and we got some wonderful scenes between the two of them again.
When he let him go on and on about why Nick was innocent, and he only did it because he said Ace doesn't go on and on anymore, he missed it. I was like, sir, please stay forever.
That was so cute.
It was, and he's such a compassionate person to his father, because like the way in which he just let Nick, with that interview when he was realizing like, hey, you really don't know anything, we can't conduct this interview, but the way his face fills with so much concern when they have to tell Nick that he's killed someone in self-defense, and he's just like, and Nick is just like distraught, and I'm just like, how is it also a funny episode but also very sad, like the talent element. It
was such a showcase episode for, I can't remember the actor who plays Nick's name. Do you?
Tunji.
It was a showcase for him. Like, he was so good and so moving, the way that he portrayed Nick as like, yeah, he's done bad things, but like he has a big heart. And he just learning about it, he couldn't believe that he had the capability of doing that. It was such a beautiful scene.
It was, especially, they didn't need to tell us the full story, but I was like, someone please tell him it was because he was defending a friend who was being harassed, and it just got out of hand. But in any case, it is a showcase for him, and it was a showcase for this team, and even when they don't have their memories, how well they still work together and confide in one another. It was just really lovely to see them like memoryless, but we're still acting the way that they typically would be as a Drew crew if they had their memories. And I did like that Nick was like, he must have wrote down Nancy's address. Like, I need to get to Nancy if I lose my memories, because she's gonna jumpstart this investigation. And she was pulling double duty because she had to handle the Nick thing, but then she also had to handle the oh, my grandmother knows that I am her son's daughter. We have a problem now. And then now she knows that her life is in danger. She was balancing a lot of things, but she was doing it excellently.
I was almost frustrated because when Nancy learns that the situation is happening and her dads were keeping it from her, I thought we were like, oh no, we're gonna get another Nancy episode where she's mad at the dads, but she was just like, she kept it moving, and I was like, thank you, Nancy. I don't need you to be mad at them for 2 more business days.
No, but really there are not enough hours in a day for everything she has to deal with, and considering the fact she dealt with whatever this Viking god for however many times on repeat, it's just a credit to her how she manages to do it all. But like, I will say one thing, I would have been super disappointed in the episode if Odette did not make an appearance, because I was like, wait, she popped up literally all the time, and super convenient that she's not here at this point.
I know, she kept it quiet. I was like,
yeah,
where girl go?
And then I was like, wait, does she not know the name of the god? Obviously then, because her memory wasn't wiped. So that was interesting that they can both be in the same body, but that when George's memory is wiped, Odette's isn't. That was quite fascinating. Odette didn't really add much other than the fact that the note said, don't trust Odette. She didn't really add much at all, but I was very appreciative of the fact that we got to see her, because I was like, that would have been super convenient if she just randomly didn't rear her head this time when she showed up all the other times. But yeah, I'm glad that we finally got to see kind of like, she is a little helpful all in all, but and it's just, does she not know when George knows things? Because I'm sure she would have known the name of the creature as well. Yeah, that was weird.
Not.
Yeah,
I don't know what the rules are for that, but we did, like, she obviously did remember stuff, because we got that crumb of Odette like alluding to liking Bess, and Bess was like, who?
I think her moment actually is a seed for later on. Because I got the feeling when she said that she would protect George, I think that's what she's going to be doing. I was like, I wonder if we're going to put Odette in a situation in which that's exactly what she needs to do. Not this episode, but perhaps down the road. So it's just like a little moment for her. Like, girl, we're going to have you say this in an episode 14 or something. We'll circle back to the thing you said at the board.
We also got the Ace brother reveal, who had been line cook Grant the whole time. I kind of was loving the comedy of them consistently ignoring Grant. And then with this reveal where like it's been under their nose the whole time. Like, I feel like if Ace had just told Nancy, like, I might have a half brother out there somewhere, she would have figured out like 4 episodes ago. She would have been like, it's Grant, dude.
I was waiting for who Shannon Cook was going to be playing, because I was like, Shannon's been in CW shows before. We didn't just hire. He's not like a random person, so he's got to be important. But I just didn't know who would be. And I was like, oh, he's Ace's brother, which is. I love how at the end he just reveals himself. We have the other part of it. It's like a friendship necklace. We just put it together.
The Parent Trap.
Yes. And so now it's like, oh, where do we go from here? And is your mom okay? What's happening? Like, he did say he's in trouble, so we'll see.
He came to the right people.
I know why they introduced Ace's mom now, because we saw all that with Ace's family, and just in time for the family to get some drama upend that piece with this reveal. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from the brothers.
But that's the exciting part. Because it's a mystery unto itself. We have a few mysteries going, but all of them are interesting. All of them are something you want to see unfold. I would say this one's probably like the C plot. They just keep giving us little, like sprinkling little salt on there and having us go on our way until the next episode. So I wonder what's next for us.
I think like that's the most not the most interesting. I don't want to say to do a disservice to the rest of the story, but it's kind of that story that bubbles below the surface. I feel like it'll have more importance as it goes on, because they're very much playing the long game with it. Like, it took us quite a while to get from point A to point B, considering we knew it was going to happen. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where this one goes.
Same with in Nancy's life, her becoming an asset to the Hudsons in order to keep herself alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does that mean, Nancy? What are the terms?
I don't know. I don't know what Everett would need from a granddaughter he didn't know about, who he does not care for, and who he wants to enact revenge on.
I don't know why, like, Nancy was very honest. She's like, I don't want anything from you. Like, I'll sign anything. I was like, that's a great plan. Obviously, it would be way too easy. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't take that deal, because she was genuine. Like, she's like, I don't care about you guys. Like, I don't care.
I don't know. I guess it's just because they're untrust. They don't trust anybody. They would be duplicitous if they had said that. But as Carson told her, which is exactly what she needed to hear, she has Hudson blood, but she's a Drew heart.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I'm so happy they finally had that moment, because we've been waiting on them to like find. They have slowly find their way back to each other, but this is that like father-daughter dynamic was so important in season 1. It's been missing a lot in season 2. Carson's been off doing his own thing, so I hope we now get to see them in each other's orbit a lot more going forward.
Yeah, he got that chance to be a dad with Bess, and I feel like that was a good building block to get Nancy and Carson back together. I also loved the scene with Nancy and Carson and Ryan where she's like, I'm sure people learn that they're grandparents every day, and she's like, not you guys.
She's like, I'm not. No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's not what this is.
Which is like, their faces didn't even say that that's what they assumed.
Yeah.
She just wanted to make it very clear. A grandchild is not coming.
She's like, I'm too busy.
She is. She is. George even has that line about how, like, when she disappears, she's like, and that's exactly who she is.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also loved another like comedic moment was when George asked like, and what do we do if it doesn't work, or whatever the question was, and then they have the sign on the board, it's like, when George asks, what do we do if it doesn't work?
And the picture of her holding the things, because I said so. Like, there's just this. Nancy Drew is a joy. I wish that it was getting. We're going to see season 4, obviously, but I wish that the CW had kept it for longer. I know Kennedy McMahon is off to CBS. Hopefully, her series gets
ABC.
It's ABC. Oh yes, right, ABC.
Yeah, ABC.
It did ABC. So more power to her. More power to her brilliance. We'll still be there for her all the way around. But like, Nancy Drew is a gem. It's truly a gem.
Fun. It's like, what other show on television is there a group of friends taking down a mythical creature with viral tweets? I don't know. It's just Nancy.
And troll bots.
Indeed.
Just genius. I think, you know what? The Walker Independence writers team and the Nancy Drew writers team should hold like clinics for writers. Just study
these shows. If you want to be a writer, like, watch these shows.
Yes, my goodness.